All right, well, let's get started. First, my name is Rebecca Auerhan, and I'm with 401k Marketing. Thank you so much for joining today's presentation, 9 Marketing Hacks that will impact your retirement plan business. Now, we always like to set the stage. So the first question, and I mentioned earlier that this is an interactive presentation. How many advertisements does the average person experience per day? I think the response is A, 2,500, or B, 5,000. So we'll take just a moment if you guys could type in that Q&A box what you think, A or B. Well, many people are very surprised to learn it's 5,000 advertisements per day. Wow, okay. So think of it like this. You, in the morning, you open your bathroom cabinet, your medicine cabinet, and you're looking at probably 20 advertisements right there. You drive in your car, you're on your way to work, turn on the radio. Depending on the length of your commute, you could be exposed to another 10 advertisements. You log on to a web page, the average site has 6 different advertisements. And if we add that up over the course of one singular day, we are all exposed to over 5,000 advertisements, which creates a really big challenge. You as business owners, us as marketers, how do you rise above this noise so you can stand out as a retirement plan leader? So our next question, according to the Small Business Association of America, what is the recommended spend on marketing your business? Is it A, 2%, or B, 8%? So again, bottom right-hand side, type in what you think it is, A or B. All right, well, truth be told, we are a marketing company, so it is 8% according to the Small Business Association. Now, interestingly enough, the average financial advisor office spends 1.8% of their gross revenue on marketing, 1.8. And Fidelity did a study. The study is called, Could 1% Increase Sales by 40%? And what they found was offices that spent 2.4% of their revenue on marketing, not even an entire percentage point more, experienced 40% more client growth, 40% more retention, and 20% more overall revenue. So actually tangible dollar spends on marketing and the bottom line impact that it could have on your practice. And again, going back to this 8%, the Small Business Association does recommend 8%, so we in financial services have a while to go, but think of if those results, the 2.4% that marketing leaders spend on marketing, if offices spend 8%, I wonder what those results look like. All right, well, we're going to talk about those 9 hacks and what you can do today to cut through the clutter, and we're going to break it down into 4 different kind of micro series. And they are relationships, social, direct, and global. And then we're going to give examples through each one. All of these examples today, they're, for the most part, a small spend within your business, a small time commitment as well. And something at the end of the call, you should be able to have 1 through 9 different implementable action items that you could use within your business to then market yourself as a retirement plan advisor. So let's start with the first one. The first step is to create a lead list. And it's important to make sure that when you're thinking of who your prospects are, they're the right prospects. The reason there's an empty auditorium on the left-hand side is you could come up with the world's most greatest marketing campaign, but unfortunately, if there's no one in your auditorium to listen to it, it went on deaf ears. Whereas if you know who your prospect audiences are, the size of the plan, number of participants, geographic location, maybe some of those triggers whether they're not following 404C compliance or if they had planned corrections, and whatever you have determined as an appropriate prospect, you want to make sure you capture who they are, their names, their contact information, and fill your auditorium, fill your pipeline with the right prospects. Then, once you have your prospects, there are some pretty cool websites out there nowadays. On the bottom of the screen, you can see 3 of them: Maptive, Batch Geo, and Easy Mapmaker. You can take your prospects and then place them. These are called heat maps. Place it inside a heat map, and then you can zoom in and zoom out and figure out exactly where all of your prospects are located. A lot of times what you'll notice is certain pockets of our country, there's different office parks. You probably even have clients today who are in those office parks. Next time you're sitting down with your client, and you know that your prospect, your ideal prospect, works in that same office park, maybe mention, hey, do you happen to know John who works at R&D Tool and Die? Just see if he happens to know him. They share the same office park. This is a great way to figure out if there's any across the street opportunities or easy introductions that you could lean on. The next relationship-based introduction is through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very powerful social media tool. And what you see here on the screen, let me see if my mouse will work here. So has anyone ever noticed this 2 in the top right-hand corner of a LinkedIn profile? Well, what this means is that we have a person in common. If you think of it as those 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, we are 2 degrees apart from each other. There's myself, then there's another person, and then there's Melissa Calkins. Well, by clicking on this down arrow right here, and then getting introduced, what it's going to do is pull up a list of all of these people that we have in common. And as I'm looking at this list, I can go, oh, I know Tom really well. I'll send him a quick message, and maybe he would be comfortable, so long as he knows Melissa as well, to facilitate an introduction. It's a really great way to shortcut that introduction process so you can get in front of your prospect and through a trusted referral source. And last but not least, on our ways from a relationship standpoint to lean on to open new doors is to have regular meetings, and that's the key word here, regular meetings with centers of influence. And we define centers of influence as attorneys, payroll providers, benefit attorneys, benefit advisors, accountants, people with 500 or more LinkedIn connections. They generally seem to be connectors. Ask those folks out for lunch or for drinks even. Try and get to know them on a regular basis. A lot of times they work with business owners. You work with business owners. It could be a back and forth referral system as well as just a great person to know, because as a business owner, you have all these different things that come up, and if you have trusted resources to then help with your clients, they really appreciate that in the long run. Also, make sure you bring your heat map with you, maybe not on your first coffee date, but maybe the 3rd one. A lot of times when people go on those heat maps, because of their interactive nature, they actually have a lot of fun with them, and they zoom in and they zoom out, and they go, oh, my client works here. And before you know it, they're telling you stories. And a lot of times those stories might be just great introductions to new prospects. So now we're going to jump forward and talk a little bit about social media. We only have 2 slides on social media. If anyone wants to talk to us about it in more depth, by all means, give me a call or send me an email. We can schedule some time. But in this presentation, we're going to keep it kind of on the high level. So have you ever been on LinkedIn or Facebook or even Twitter, and you've noticed that there's just some folks who are constantly posting, always on there. There's always material that they're updating and sharing. Well, little secret, they are probably not sitting behind their computers actively posting. they've pre-scheduled content to go out through one of the many different companies that offer the service. The one you have today on the screen is called Hootsuite. It is complimentary for your first 3 users, and the reason I put it up here is the majority of broker-dealers have an agreement with Hootsuite because of the compliance tracking and recording components of it. Just keep that in mind. Well, on Hootsuite, you can pre-schedule LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook updates to go out. If you, it'll take about, depending on how active you want to be on social media, you give it like 30 minutes. If you did 30 minutes a week, I think you'd probably be in pretty good shape. The other thing, thinking about social media, we all belong to newsletters. Get them, most Monday mornings or Sunday nights, with various newsletters. And when you're looking, you're reading through, whatever catches your eye, reshare it. Because chances are other people that'll catch their eye. So now you're delivering value through social media with interesting and engaging material. So this is another site. It's called Canva. We, as a marketing and design firm for retirement plan advisors, we spend thousands of dollars a year on design software. And then we also came across this really fun website called Canva, where you basically have very similar design software that we use, but it's not, I think it's very inexpensive, essentially. Well, if you have someone in your office who's got a creative eye and they like to have some fun with graphics, infographics, newsletters, direct mailers, anything that's printed or visual collateral, introduce them to this site. A lot of different fonts and pictures and different layouts that they can explore with. So it's canva.com. Lots of fun there. All right. So we're moving on to our third section. The first one, again, was relationships. Those are the easiest ways for you to get introduced to new prospects. The second one is through social media and exploring and expanding your natural voice. So what happens when you are not connected to anyone via social media and when you're not connected through an already existing relationship? You have to market the old-fashioned way. And one of the ways that you can do that is direct mail. So the year is now 2016. Can you tell me, out of all of the marketing mediums today, all of them, what has the highest open rate and highest deliverability rate? And when I give this presentation live, people look at me and they furrow their eyebrows and they go, what? It's direct mail. The highest open rate and the highest deliverability rate. It's going to be about $1 per piece. So out of all of our 9 hacks, this is actually the one that is the most expensive. So it's about $1 per piece. You're going to want to do way more than one direct mailer. Earlier I mentioned that the average person experiences 5,000 advertisements per day. So you definitely need to be on some sort of repetition. We encourage at least 4 times a year. And then if you're going to DIY your own direct mail, make sure you please follow some type of design template as well. The next idea is to host a webinar. Today's consumers are smart, they're educated, they're addicted to Google, and they want to receive value before they make an active purchase. So receive value and make an active purchase. Well, one of the ways that you can consistently deliver value is through a webinar. A lot of the providers today have really fantastic presentations that they've already run through your compliance channels, and you can set it up with the local wholesaler. If you don't have webinar technology, a lot of times they do, and they can work with you in collaboration. We always recommend when you are going to do a webinar, it is very important to promote your webinar. Generally, you want to look at sending out invites about 10 days before, 7 days before, and then the day of in order to get maximum participation. But then, This is the one that everyone goes, oh no. It's still a person-to-person business. So it's important to pick up the phone, call your centers of influence. You had coffee with them, they like you like them, and you want to tell them that you're hosting a webinar, that you're delivering value. Maybe they have some clients who are working with and that they need help with their fiduciary responsibility. Maybe they want to know what plan sponsor attitudes they're doing or what's trending out there in the space, or maybe they're really into financial wellness. That's a huge topic and trend in today's environment, and they want to know how they can get their employees motivated and excited to save for their futures. Call their COIs, tell them that you're doing this, ask them to promote it on your behalf as well, send them the email invitations that you're going to be sending out. And then for your prospects, if you have folks who are farther up on that list that you've really been trying to bring on as new clients, give them a call, let them know. Last but not least, always invite your clients. Always, always. This is an easy way to provide extra services, but at a very low fraction of the service cost, because with webinars, the beautiful thing is if 1,000 people show up, it's the exact same work as one person shows up. And then last but not least, on telephone outreach, I don't know if anyone's ever done this, but I have been a culprit. I get nervous. It happens. And I've left voicemails where I was a rambling wreck. So just write a short script. About 70% of the time you are going to receive a voicemail. So just make sure you know your name of your firm, the name of the webinar, the date of the webinar, and some sort of friendly way that they can get back a hold of you. On the flip side of that, if you also get to talk to that person, make sure you also have the name of the webinar, the date, what it's about, and then why you personally felt that it was important that they should be aware of this. All right, well, I promised 9 marketing hacks, but actually we're going to give you 10, and the 10th marketing hack is PR. PR is an interesting animal and definitely not something to launch into lightly. If you are going to try a press release, which is a really cool way to get some incredible search engine optimization for your company, we highly recommend that you use a professional writer. Actually, we write press releases as well, but if you're interested, there's also professional writers out there. And then you want to make sure that you submit it through one of the PR websites. There's different ones, like you could go to eReleases or PRWeb, which is on the screen, or if you go to like Reuters, there's a bunch of other ones. There's different price points for one, so just keep that in mind as well with press. But we're a big fan of press releases and sending them out because they really do increase your company's SEO in the world. All right, well, I promised 30 efficient minutes of 9 marketing hacks, and we are about 25 minutes past the hour. My name is Rebecca Auerhan, and I'm the founder and CMO of 401k Marketing. We work exclusively with retirement plan advisors and TPAs to help them with branding, marketing, and really becoming that go-to retirement plan advisor within their respective territories. So with that, I'm going to open it up for some Q&A and see if anyone has any questions. Attention everyone on the phone, just in case too. I'm going to open up your phone line, so sometimes I know that could be a little on the scary side. So just a moment, okay? All right, everyone is officially unmuted. And did we have any questions from today? All right. Well, thank you again, everyone. My contact information is on the screen. If you have any questions about how we can support retirement plan advisors and CPAs, please let us know. We would be happy to work with you and over the over the course of time, help you become that go-to return plan expert for all of your plan sponsor needs. Thank you again, and have a fantastic